Oh, we struggle in all aspects of school.
Yeah.
We had PE down. That's about it.
And lunch.
PE and
I was ready to lunch.
That has stayed true to form.
Sean Watson, another step back, which I will say a lot of his problem at O-line. 8 sacks.
Yeah.
Good.
He's gonna be back like when Vic came back to the league after the dog hit him.
Yes.
I just got 3 things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine.
Welcome to another episode of Benchwarmers Basement Banner with Woody and...
Rogers,
That's
no
right.
stat guy. He's gone this week, but
That's right.
he's
with us in
missed
spirit.
dearly.
He is, especially when we botch some of these trades. So you
Yes.
know. But we are on. I'm already botching it. We're on YouTube. We're on Wabash TV, obviously.
TikToks, not
yeah.
banned anymore. So
Kick Trump.
Kick.
There we go.
Kick. Don't kick
Not
Trump.
kick Trump. No, thank you, Trump. Free TikTok for now. I
We're
don't
also
know,
on
but yeah.
X, and which is Twitter.
Yeah, and
more or
that's the
less.
beginning and end of our politics
And we're
talk
on
too. Can I clear that up?
Facebook. So
Yeah, what he
check
said.
us out on all that stuff. We'd highly appreciate it.
We're everywhere.
And also, thank you. We didn't do this in the last one. Thank
Yeah.
you, Wabash, for this lovely studio. We're
Correct. I think I might have said that once, but I did not execute all the way through. So,
Yeah.
dropped the ball on that one. Happens. But is that everybody?
I think that's
There
it.
we go. Once that guy's back, we'll be a little more professional with that.
Yeah.
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 You're stuck with us.
Maybe
Sorry.
we should just make him have a clip of it so we can
Oh,
just
that's a great idea.
throw it in there.
My gosh, look at you go. Production manager. You're
Yeah.
promoted. There you go.
promoted.
I'm going to be like Trump. You're promoted. You're here. You're here. I love
Yeah.
it. Get stuff done. So, yeah, we are going to switch gears. We've been talking a lot of football because the weather is very cold outside and they're playing football. Makes sense.
That checks out.
So now, yeah, there you go. Well, about logic too. So now we're going to switch some gears up here and talk some baseball because that's coming around the corner
It is.
and we're quite passionate about it. We
I
are.
I do like baseball.
You
Yes.
like some baseball. You used to hit the ball very far back in your day. So yeah.
Yeah, softballs occasionally now. That's about it.
I know. Yeah, we don't hit it. We don't run like we used to, but you know what? It's fun to watch people that can. So,
Yeah.
what we're going to do here is a lot of bouncing around, and these lists are not like I just, what I did, I got to give credit. I watched a lot of YouTube videos for some of these because I feel like a lot of other people are smarter than me, so I kind of take a sum of parts. It's, I found that out a lot in life, but like I watch.
When in doubt, plagiarize.
Yeah, there you go. But see, I gave credit. That's the key. They taught us that in school. You
gotta cite your work.
source. Yeah. Oh crap, that's gonna be hard on that. So talking baseball, there you go. I love Trevor Plouffe. You remember Plouffe?
Yeah.
Sorry, I said his name wrong. Yeah, Twins legend back in the day. He's on this show. It's a lot of fun. Jolly Olive had a good list on this. These guys are cool guys. Just talk sports. I listened to that, some other randoms, and did. Of course, the Google search to make it official. But
Yeah.
this is a lot of digging into the archives for these lists. We're going to start. These are the biggest trades, in my opinion, that could be aired from the 2000s
Okay.
of baseball. Now, we're going to start off with positivity, though, okay?
Okay.
We're going to talk some win-win deals.
All right.
Doesn't happen that often. One more note. There are no Cardinals trades in here because beloved stat guy. We don't want to leave him out for that.
That's fair.
So, yeah. But no Cardinals, which that's a lot of them. You'll notice when we do the Cardinal ones, there was a lot. 90s, early 2000s looked pretty good.
Yeah.
And then the last 10 years.
The last 10 years probably not great.
Not great. Not great at all.
great.
So the roller coasters went down.
At
But
least
anyway.
the signings were good, right? Oh, yeah. Never mind.
I was trying to find a silver lining, and I got nothing. No, I can't even come back to that. So, we'll get better sometime. So, but we're going to start off here. I'll try to go somewhat chronological order, but this trade is the only one that is outside of that 2000s window. Why I put it in is because the impact was in the 2000s for our Cubs fans. They're near and dear. Gotta
Okay.
give them some love. This involves Derek Lee, not when he was traded to the Cubs. He signed with them later on, but in '97, the Marlins traded Kevin Brown to San Diego for Derek Lee, Steve Hoff, Rafael Medina. This was Marlins Fire Sale 1.0.
Okay.
As I've been a common trend with them, they
won a World Series
Yeah.
and then they dumped their whole team.
they're like, oh crap, now we have to pay you guys. We don't want to do that. Bye. So
Except they didn't even win a World Series this last time.
no, they just decided, we don't want to pay for mediocrity.
Yeah.
So, who does that? But I actually think they got a lot of guys to come there because the income tax and everything, and then it's like, oh crap.
They don't pay us though.
Yeah, exactly. We gone. So now you have the fish of present day. But this trade I thought was kind of win-win. Kevin Brown was amazing in San Diego. Almost won the Cy Young that year. Derek Lee, you know what? He was a part of the next Marlins World Series team, 03.
Yep.
That's kind of crazy with that organization. A 6-year span. They won 2 World Series, and they were fairly new and fairly trash every other year.
Yeah, it's either a World Series or we're gonna win 70 games. Like
Pretty much, and normally the latter. Yeah, it
Yeah.
really is. But that's just crazy to think about it. They've won as many World Series as us last however many
since
years.
they
became
to
a team.
fruition, yeah.
That's not great again. But still 2. It's nothing to shake your nose at.
right.
So
2 in 25 years,
yeah,
is 30.
yeah, yep. So San Diego only got 1 year of Kevin Brown. Derek Lee was there at the Marlins for 6 years. The other guys in this trade, not much, but Lee was a big part of that team. And so honestly, you look at it, both sides I thought won. I mean, they each got production from the players they got. So
Okay.
I like that one. We'll stay on this Marlins train, and you remember this guy named Hanley Ramirez.
Yeah, he was best player in baseball for a couple years.
Yeah,
Like,
and if he liked baseball, he could have been the best one for even longer. But
Yeah.
I always thought Hanley was a head case. But this trade was pretty cool. In 2005, the Marlins traded Josh Beckett. This is after they won a World Series again.
Yep.
Common theme. Mike Lowell, who was pretty solid third baseman back in the day.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And Gilmere Mota, who I think just spent a hot minute in Boston. But they traded him for Hanley, Anibal Sanchez, who was pretty solid for a little
Yeah.
while.
Had some good years in Detroit.
Yeah, he did. And I think he actually, even in Miami, had a few decent years.
Yeah.
Harvey Garcia, Jesus Delgado, which are afterthoughts. But Josh Beckett went to Boston, and they won a World Series in 07 with him.
Yep.
He had some big years there. He really did. Mike Lowell, he was a part of that team too. So, they won a World Series out of it. The Marlins side of the trade, they got Hanley Sanchez.
Yeah.
Boston was in a position to compete. They used a prospect to get them over the finish line.
Turned out he was a pretty good prospect.
He was.
Could have been a lot better.
Yep, could have. But when you win the World Series, to me, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the ultimate goal. Could they have kept Hanley in one? Possibly. But still, when you win it, I think you're not a loser. So, that made sense.
Yeah, that's
And yeah,
the
and
definition
Hanley,
of being a winner.
you touched on it. Would you say one of the most talented players we've seen?
One of the first guys that I remember being referred to as a 5-tool player.
Yes. Power speed combo was
Yep.
stupid. Could do it all. And unfortunately, I don't think he will be a Hall of Famer, but he had a Hall of Fame caliber talent.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
But really, it only flashed for maybe 5 years.
I'd say you're right.
Yeah.
And most of that was in Miami. So
Yep.
there you go. They won something. So we got that one. The next one I had was, this one's interesting. You remember that Dan Herron guy?
Yeah, I do remember that Dan Herron guy.
Yeah, it's a pretty good prospect for us. That who did we trade him for? Mulder. I think it was in the Mark Mulder deal,
Yep, Mark Mulder.
which was fun. We brought it ace to town. Didn't work out for very long.
That seems like that happens every time we bring an ace to town.
A lot of times it does, and they go elsewhere. Like in this instance, Herron won a Cy Young or so in the desert. And, yes, he went Oakland, Arizona. In this trade, though, he went from Arizona to the Angels. The Angels got Patrick Corbin, Tyler Skaggs, Rafael Rodriguez, and Joe Saunders.
Okay.
So, Corbin is pretty solid for Diamondbacks good while. On the Herron side of trades, he was great in L.A. for
Yeah.
2 years, I think it was.
A guy that was very good in his prime didn't have a long prime.
No, it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
The injury bug. But Tyler Skaggs, rest in peace.
Yep.
Kind of interesting because it wasn't not long after this he got traded back to the Angels, and that's where he made the majors. But, you break it down. I mean, I guess you'd say Herron was better than Corbin, but for a shorter span.
Corbin's been really solid for a lot longer, which I think that he finally has ended his career.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I know it's not going great in Washington, and you might be right. It went downhill when he signed that big deal with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Arizona got some good years.
Seems like that happens a lot. You get paid, and then
Especially, it seems like these pitchers that are over 30, a lot of times that just doesn't work out well.
I mean, congrats to Verlander and Scherzer.
You beat me to it. I said, unless you're those guys. And those guys just like Father Time,
Yeah.
It's finally caught up to him, but gosh, what are they, like 43 and 44 40 maybe. Sure.
It does turn out that any age after 35, Verlander only pitches well for Houston.
That's awesome. I guess Kate Upton likes it in Houston. That's gotta be the difference. So that's hilarious. Just getting back to Houston. There you go. Where's he at now? San Fran?
Yeah.
Nah, screwed. Okay. Oh, crap. Moving on. Here's a team he pitched for, Detroit. 2015. They traded Cespedes. Remember that guy? To the Mets. Yeah. He's another one when he wanted to play was pretty solid.
It just seems like most of those Cuban players kind of lack being polished enough to, like have a sustainable career.
Yeah, it kind of seems like when they get paid, get the American money and everything. And I'm not saying all of them. A lot of them, it's like, hey, let's go buy a ranch and some horses and ride.
Well, I kind of remember him getting fined when he was with the Mets for ripping darts in the dugout.
The darts, and I was thinking the horseback riding.
Yeah.
He went on the high hills, he fell off his horse or something like that.
Right.
Like, and maybe if you're going to do it like Tatis, like, let's not talk about it. Maybe you don't post to Instagram. You're on the horse. Watch me break this Bronco. So, could have had a PR course or two, but, But in all seriousness, he was a force for the Mets until he got down on that dang horse.
Yeah.
But the Tigers got back Michael Fulmer. I can't even take it serious now. And Luis Sessa. And Fulmer was pretty dang good for a few years with them.
Fulmer always thought was going to be better than what he turned out to be.
Yeah, I agree. Well, he started off winning Rookie of the Year, and I thought he placed the Cy
in
Young.
15, I think.
I believe you're right. Yeah, 15, 16, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
He had a great couple of years, and the injuries kind of got to him, but he actually came back later and closed for them. Like, if you look at the longevity, he got the edge. But Cespedes fit a void for the Mets. Like, he got him in the playoffs. Was amazing. I don't remember what year. Was it 15? I think it was 15, 16. One of those years they were great, and then they fell off the earth. The earth, but that's what they've done.
It's kind of the thing.
Oh, yeah, kind of, sort of. So, he was, I thought, a win-win. Fair to say?
That's fair.
So, yeah. I'll tell you what, we're going to go ahead and take a break, and we'll get back into this and finish off our win-wins, and then we'll mix it up with some not-so-win-wins.
Yeah, a little lopsided.
Yeah,
All right, we'll be back.
We're back, and we're going to keep it positive, talking some win-wins. And the next one we got is interesting, because I want to see if you think this is a win-win. We got Chapman, Aroldis Chapman, and this was July of 16. The Cubbies, keep in mind.
Okay.
World Series drought of 108 years.
All right, yeah.
Let me check my math on that. They went all in. They acquired Chapman for Gleyber Mania, Gleyber Torres,
Okay.
Billy McKinney, Adam Warren, Rashad Crawford. Really the only guy was Torres in that deal.
Yeah.
Chapman was pretty solid.
Yeah, he had some woes in the playoffs that year, I believe.
A few. I think he did better than what they had before him. That was a big problem for him.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
And, they did win the World Series with him in 16, I believe.
Yep. They won
the
the
only
World Series
thing
when
was, that was obviously a rental because Loraltis
Yes.
went right back to New York.
Actually, the real winner is the Yankees on this because they in turn signed him and had Gleyber.
Yeah.
So,
but Gleyber has just been perpetual disappointment. So it's like he peaked in year 2 or 3. Yeah.
His star was rising, and I don't know what happened. It was blame COVID, blame it for everything else. It was like that 2020 season. It was just like peaked out and downhill since. And he's Detroit now. I think that's who signed him. They're fine, but. Yeah, I think that if he would have been what they thought he was going to be, this would be an obvious slam dunk.
I know that he kind of lazied his way out of a lot of money.
Yeah. I think we were talking earlier about how he's shown you not on your contract or walk year
what
how
not
not
to
to
do.
play.
Yeah.
How not to play. So it cost himself probably $100 million. But anyway, I'm going to say I thought win-win because the Cubs got the World Series and now it worked for the Yankees. So. The next one I got, you know what? We got some Marlins coming up here. I saw our boy old Zach Gallen. Won't talk the Cardinal side of this, but not
We're
great.
really good at giving away Cy Young winners.
We're like this pitching tree. We grow talent, and we just, here's an apple, here's an apple.
And we keep the crap ones.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. That's why we're talking about not being in the playoffs for as long as we have.
Yeah.
So, but no, on this one, Zach Gallen, I forgot. He went to Miami, was there for a cup of coffee. And they traded him to Arizona for Jazz Chisholm. This looked like a slam dunk win for Arizona.
Yeah, well, hold on now.
But hold the phone, this Jazzy guy has some talent, and they ended up trading him this last year. But, on this one, I view it as a win-win. Like, Gallen filled the void for Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
He was, I don't know, you could maybe say ace. He's right up there.
And
like
Jazz Chisholm puts butts in seats, and that's what
oh,
Miami needs.
He does. He puts the ball in the seat every once in a while. He's exciting.
Yeah.
And, yeah, you're right. Yeah, he maybe got him from 11,000, 12,000. So,
Right.
there you go, fans at the night. But I was like, they both brought something to the team, and it filled the void. Miami needed a bat. You talk about growing pitching on trees. That's what they do, really.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
they usually get it from
then
us.
they break, but yeah, exactly, exactly. But this one, I thought was kind of, I'd kind of forgot about how Jazz got there and that trade. It kind of went under the radar. It was actually a deadline deal, but it was a deadline deal for two teams that weren't in contention.
Yeah.
It's cool when teams do this, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's like, you're not in,
Yeah.
I'm not in. Let's just
Yeah.
kind of start getting ready for next
Yeah,
year.
but I got something you want. You got something I need. Yeah, let's do this. So, mixed up a little bit. But I thought win-win. Is it fair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll agree with that.
So another one that I was borderline win-win with them, I'm going to go to January of 23. This one aggravated me because the Marlins, they traded away Pablo Lopez, Jose Salas, and Byron Churio. Don't believe any relation to Jackson. Don't think so. But, man, if it was. Traded all them for Luis Ariz. And I was agitated at the time because I'm kind of a fantasy baseball nut, where, as you see, Ariz doesn't have the biggest value. And I was like,
No.
that's it they gave up for him because we looked at Lopez. It's like, what are we doing? But pump the brakes, real life baseball. Ariz won, a batting type 2?
I think he's won a couple of them, yeah.
In Miami, I mean.
Yeah.
I think so.
Won another one in San Diego, I believe.
Yeah, he won this last year, and I think he won one in Minnesota before that. So, yeah. Lopez has been, if not an ace, at least a solid number 2. You could say
Had a
ace.
rough patch last year.
Yeah, he did. The year before was amazing.
Yeah.
But when you look at it, honestly, I think for both teams it panned out pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think?
I mean, it's hard to argue with getting an ace out of the deal and then getting a guy
batting
that's
champ.
perpetual
Yeah.
batting champ.
Yeah.
So, I mean, both
I
teams
think-
got a good player.
Yeah, I think so. Just what did
Filled
you
a need.
Yeah, it did. So I think Minnesota, it made them closer to contention than with Miami. I don't know what they're doing down there, but they ended up trading their eyes for more prospects. So, hey, there you go.
Yeah.
That's value out of the guy. So, that one is even. This one intrigued me too. Okay, you ready for this? This is the last win-win, and then we're getting to some losers here.
Okay.
August 2nd, 2022, the Phillies traded Logan O'Hoppe, their number 1 rated prospect.
Yeah?
Catcher. Yeah. For Brandon Marsh, who was around 30th or 40th in the MLB pipeline rankings at the time.
Yeah.
Never broke out with LA. A lot of people don't do that. Free Joe
And,
Adele.
well, Marsh has been
Solid.
okay.
He's been solid.
okay.
Yeah. Heck of a glove.
Yeah,
And honestly, his bat has improved
it has.
a fair amount. I'd rather have the O'Hoppe side because I think he could be special with the bat.
If he could stay healthy.
Healthy, and this is where the fantasy part of me needs to take a step back because he is horrible defensively. So
Yeah, no one cares about that.
I don't. Not when I'm drafting guys, no.
But, that's kind of what you expect out of your catchers, to do the defense part and not hit.
Yeah. I start to
So-
real life baseball. It's like maybe he's not as good as my fantasy brain tells me.
Yeah.
But you look at it, they both, I think, improved their home, where they were at.
Mm-hmm.
And it filled the need definitely for the Phillies getting some center field defense. Catcher for LA.
Maybe that's why the Angels always have really good hitters that don't really pan out as being good at baseball in general. So maybe Artie Moreno loves fantasy baseball.
That's it. Well, the Jets connection with their kid running the team.
Yep.
Maybe Artie's like an old version of this kid, and he's like, fantasy it up. I will say fundamentals are not their strength. I will give you that 100%, but turns out that helped you win a few more games.
Yeah.
So, with this trade, though, win-win.
Okay.
And a win for Artie's fantasy team. There you go.
There we go. Yep.
So, that's all I got for win-wins. I'm sure you guys comment out there. I know I probably missed one, or it happens. Turns out there's a lot of trades in baseball. That's what I love about baseball.
Yeah.
Mix it up. They do.
And in July comes around, you get pretty excited.
It's like Christmas. It's Christmas in July for me. It really is. And I mean, I think I could make way better trades than these teams do. But
Obviously.
It is.
And
Yeah.
you usually throw them out there.
I do. And I usually go 1 for 30. So we'll keep that up. We'll keep it up. But we'll go ahead and jump into you ready? You got any? Or you want my one-siders?
No. Let's just get right in there. We'll follow your outline
Here
here.
we go. I'll tell you, we'll do like we did for the win-wins, and we'll give the Cubs some love.
Okay.
Why not? We kick them a lot. We kick the Cardinals a lot. So, You remember, this is July 3rd, 03, a man by the name of Aramis Ramirez.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, this was an interdivision trade too.
Is this where he goes to the Brewers?
Cubs.
Oh, it came from the
yeah,
Brewers.
No,
No.
Pirates.
Okay. He's in the division a lot.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, it's funny these guys. Jay Bruce tried that, I think, too.
Yeah.
You know, play for every Central team. Kenny Lofton was in the deal too. Like the Pirates gave away Kenny Lofton and Aramis Ramirez for Bobby Hill, not my neighbor. Shout out, Jose Hernandez and Matt Brubeck. Since that's not my neighbor, I can't say I recognize any of these guys' names.
No, but I recognize all three on the other side. Or both on the other side.
Yeah, Ramirez and Lofton, I forgot how good of a season he had in 03. 03, the Cubs made the NLCS.
Mm-hmm.
That was the Bartman. Ooh. Should have had Kenny there playing left field, and he'd have punched that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would have. He would have. He was a force for the Cubs. And then Aramis, oh my gosh, he was with them for
A long time.
a long time. Yeah, Kenny was just kind of a rental. But he hit leadoff for him then.
Mm-hmm.
A great rental in his own right. And then you throw Ramirez and, like, whew.
Ended
shafting
up being, for the most part, a lifer. I think he did have a couple more years in
The end of
Milwaukee.
his season. Yeah, the end of his career.
Yeah.
Him and Derek Lee were a very formidable 3-4. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like they crushed us for about a 4
Then you had Moises Alou mixed in there for a
Yeah.
while.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. With the no batting gloves.
Yeah.
Yeah, he treated his hands in an interesting way, but anyway.
Yeah.
Hey, it worked. Whatever. But yeah, that one, shout out to the Cubs. I thought that was a heck of a trade. I actually got so excited for the Cubs love that I skipped over. This is one that was the borderline of my range of years.
Okay.
I had to throw it in, though, because in 97, the Red Sox kind of laid the foundation for that 04 curse-busting team.
Okay.
2 trades here.
Is this where they traded away Garcia Parra?
That
was later. That was much later.
That was later, and that was
Yeah.
actually, I think, for both teams. That was the Cubs.
Yeah.
When they got Doug Minkiewicz, I butchered his name. They got what they needed, and
Yeah.
Garcia Parra did decent run with the Cubs.
Yeah.
But anyway, no, the Red Sox got Pedro from the Expos in '97.
He did okay.
He did all right. Cy Young or 2. Big deal, you
Yeah.
know.
Probably one of the best pitching seasons of all time.
Probably. Yeah, he was unhittable there for a while. He was. So you see the one-sidedness here. They gave up cousin Carl Pavano and Tony Armas, I believe is his name. Which I've heard of the name, but
Yep.
when you give up Pedro, which there was more in this trade, like they were trying to, they knew they'd lose him and cut salary. You know,
Yeah.
It's Montreal. They knew they were losing their team eventually. So
Yeah, I don't know if they knew he was going to be that good, though.
I don't know. I don't think so. I was thinking, did he win a Cy
Maybe
Young
have
player?
held out for more.
Maybe we should have got another prospect or 2. Yeah, maybe. It's the vending machine, you know, we'll make it a little better. But, yeah, and also at that deadline, this is another one I totally forgot about. They got their captain, Jason Varitek, and Derek Lowe.
Okay.
That was at the trade deadline in 97, and you know in 04 how that worked out.
Yep.
Veritek was there a long time. I mean, he punched A-Rod in the face. What more do you want from the guy? Like, that's a true leader right there. So, and Derek Lowe was amazing in that 04 postseason.
You know, if he'd have done nothing else in his career again after punching
Yeah,
A-Rod in
yeah,
the face, he'd have still been a Red Sox legend.
That's still a win. That's a win. Absolutely. You know, that's the way to do it. The World Series, that's the thing. I mean, the World Series, obviously number 1. But punching A-Rod, sorry, Big Poppy.
Ooh, I don't
Your
know.
heroics and all.
I don't know. For Red Sox fans, punching A-Rod in the face might be above a World Series.
I don't know. That was a long curse. If it had been 50 years,
Yeah.
sure. But when they were bordering on 100, yeah, and the curse of Bambino just edges it out. But that was a heck of a punch. And he made it count, too. And that turned their season around. So there
It
you
did.
go. But yeah, I think they actually made it out a holiday, didn't they? The punch A-Rod in the face day.
They did.
He's very punch in the face. But anyway, they gave up Heathcliff Slocum was the guy's name, who was a pretty solid reliever for them, but he pitched in like 20-some games for Seattle. Like, doesn't compare to punching A-Rod.
No,
So,
not
yeah.
close.
But that was kind of a franchise-changing deal. I threw it in. Here's another one, and I'm really kicking the Expos. But in 02, listen to these names. The Indians, they're still the freaking Indians for this trade, okay?
That's right.
They pulled some magic. They got Cliff Lee, Grady Sizemore, Lee Stevens, and Brandon Phillips.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
All pretty good players.
very, very solid. Very solid. For one of our favorites here, we love some Bartolo Colon. We love the guy.
The big sexy.
Yes, sir. He's very sexy, but man, that's a lot of studs.
Yeah.
And this was one, too. This was the end of their Montreal days. And I think, if I remember right, they were trying to go all in. And I think their GM even said in the paper, like, we knew this was going to hurt.
Yeah.
We knew it was a bad deal. but we wanted to try to win the World Series in Montreal. Well, it didn't happen. I don't even think they made the playoffs.
No.
And I don't know who Tim Drew is, so maybe it's JD's brother or something. I don't know. But this trade was an all-time ouch.
Oof.
Yeah, Sizemore, if he had been healthy, oh my gosh. He had a heck of a 3-4 year run.
Mm-hmm.
Cliffley, Cy Young. He's a BBB favorite here, too.
Oh, yeah.
And Brandon Phillips.
We don't like him.
Talk about punchable. That's on our list. Yeah, he got him. So anyway, yeah, it's pretty one-sided. I'll tell you what, I think that one, we need a break after that one, and come back and talk about some more losers.
Sounds great.
All right, we'll be back. We'll keep this loser train rolling, and this is a good segue, talking about trains.
Oh.
Here we go.
Talking about D-Train?
D-Train, yes,
Big
sir.
old leg kick himself?
Oh, yeah. I loved it. Turns out the delivery was not the most repeatable, and eventually the gimmick got busted.
Well,
Man.
it seems like that happens a lot. Like Tim Lincecum, for example. I mean, his
Yeah.
lasted a little bit better, but
Yeah.
he got 2 Cy Youngs.
Yeah, he did. He should have been Wayno, but whatever. Or
Yeah.
Carp. Nestor Cortez, that's the guy I was thinking about now that does the funky stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
we'll see. But yeah, D-Train got derailed, but the other guy in the trade did not.
He turned out to be okay.
You know, this guy, you guys know Miguel Cabrera.
Like
pretty good.
500 home runs, 3,000
No
hits.
big deal. Yeah, first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say unanimous because apparently Ichiro isn't, but that's for another day.
Yeah.
Another day. We won't get into that.
You heard my sentiment on that this morning.
Yeah, oh yeah, and I get you. So anyway, this is Miami Fire Sale. I lost count, so I said 5.0.
Yeah.
This one they didn't even win the World Series after. It was a few years after winning it. Miggy and D-Train to Detroit. For it was a haul at the time. Didn't turn out to be that way.
Yeah.
Cameron Maben, like I remember he was a high-rated prospect.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out he couldn't hit. That's a problem. Andrew Miller, pretty
Great
good
reliever.
pitcher. Yeah, just not in Detroit.
Yeah.
Mike Rabello, Braden Hopp, Dallas Strahan, Frankie De La Cruz. Those last 4, I don't recall any impact, variety.
I recognize names, but I don't really know what they did.
Exactly. And I remember this at the time was kind of compared to, that Juan Soto trade a couple years ago where it was like, oh my gosh, the prospects that San Diego gave up.
Mm-hmm.
It was with who all Detroit gave up, but it just...
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think that's going to work out as well for...
Oh, no. I think San Diego's going to be wearing that for a while. I think that James Wood guy, I think you're going to see a lot of home runs from that bat.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one, I mean, you got Miggy. D-Train was fun for a hot minute, but Miggy, that's all there is to it. You got Miggy.
Yeah, one of the best to ever do it.
Yeah, absolutely. So that slam dunk win. The other one here was interesting in 2007. You remember this one too? Mark Teixeira, pretty solid player.
Love Mark Teixeira.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
Oh yeah.
Second year of his career back in like 2002, I think.
Yeah.
Was a big baseball card collector then as well. That was the first autograph that I pulled from a box. Was a Mark Teixeira second year.
No.
Topps card.
Oh man, that guy's gonna have a place in your heart now.
Yes, that's
isn't
right.
it? Like that's funny. We think about the cards we pulled. Like one of the first, an autograph, but I pulled a Pujols back card.
Okay.
And now it's worth like $10 because those cards don't really play. But
Right.
I'm like, it's in my collection. It's beat up, but I'm like, no. I remember pulling it, being at Walmart. I'm like, yeah, it's cool. Anyway, back to reality here. Teixeira and Ron Mayhay went from Texas to Atlanta. See if you know these names. Elvis Andrus,
Pretty solid.
very solid mainstay there. Salty Lamont, yeah, the catcher.
Saltalamacchia.
Very good job, nice. Was that the longest name on the back of a jersey for a while?
For a long time,
think it
until
was.
Mark Zepchinski came around.
Scrabble. Got him. I love it. He got the style points too. But yeah, Matt Harrison, who actually was solid for a little while, lefty.
Yeah.
Solid arm. Neftali Feliz, who was a closer for them. That was during their World
Hey,
Series
thank
run.
you for him, actually.
Yes. Yes. Him and Cruz combo worked out pretty good for us.
We appreciate him.
Yeah, we could hit him okay.
Yeah.
A lot of teams couldn't, and he was very solid.
Yeah, he was a
Yeah.
very good setup man closer role.
Yeah. He was a heck of an
Turns out
arm on
David Freese just has his name in a little
He
bit.
can time that baby up. He can give it a ride. Love it. Bo Jones, the other guy, no notoriety. And I just think with the years, now Atlanta, I will say, they got a heck of a second half from Teixeira. This is one that, like, okay, if they would have won the World Series off of this, okay.
Yeah.
He tried to will him there. And he was also a Georgia kid going home. Cool story. Really
Yeah.
was. Unfortunately, they didn't win it, fell short, and Texas got, oh my, like, Andrews was there for a long time.
Mainstay, he
Short.
just finally is not on that team. I
Right.
think I was
No,
like
not
a couple
anymore.
a couple years ago.
Yeah, but he was their longtime perennial all-star. Great glove, bat. Salty was there a little while. Harrison, solid arm fleas, closer for a long time. Like the value they got,
Brought him to a World Series.
absolute brought them to it. Freeze took care of that. But, and here's what makes it worse: the Braves is they ended up not re-signing him. They were out of it the next year. Traded him to the Angels for only Casey Kochman and Steve Merrick, who, neither one did much.
No.
So, I think that's a big L for Atlanta. They will make up for it later.
It's okay. They
It's a
did.
good organization.
They were right out of the '90s where they just
Yeah.
won a lot.
Yeah, exactly. They could stand to lose a little bit.
Yeah.
So I don't feel sorry for him. Brother's a fan.
Amazing they only got a one World Series out of that.
Yeah, that is something someday we'll talk about.
Yeah.
The roster they had, the pitching. But
Yeah.
and they won again then in what they won, 2022, is that right?
Yeah.
They won again. They're fine.
Yeah, without
So,
Cunha.
They're fine. Yeah. That is interesting. The next one we got, Joey Bats. I forgot. He did not come up in Toronto. Did not start there.
Okay.
You remember where he
I
came from?
remember when he came up in Toronto because people were like, oh, he hit 54 home runs or
Yeah.
57 home runs. It's like,
Went bonkers.
oh, this guy's gonna set the home run record, and then you realized he was almost 30.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You were like, this kid's like 22, like unreal.
Yeah.
No, it turns out he was in Pittsburgh for a while.
Yep.
And they didn't really teach him how to hit the ball very well.
No.
So I don't know how to explain this one. Like, he went to Toronto, it was pretty instant.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess when you look at Pittsburgh's history of losing baseball.
There was a lot of juice theories.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah.
I don't think that ever came to fruition, or not yet.
Right.
Is it under review?
I think it is. I mean,
Okay,
I think
okay.
the Mitchell report came out, and then all of a sudden his stuff went
Ooh.
fast.
Yeah, a lot did that. Nah. Thanks, Jose. Or no, that was different. Jose got a few more in his book.
Yep.
But, yeah.
I think the best hit of his career was the one that Rugnito
Yeah,
gave
yeah.
him.
Yeah, I had in my notes, heck of a hitter. MMA?
He can take a punch.
He can give a punch like that. Or no, that's right.
He took a punch.
He was on the other end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
He was the
shades
receiver of
went
that punch.
flying,
Yeah.
didn't it? Yeah.
Probably
So,
one
yeah.
of the best hits that I'd seen in an MLB game as far as that goes.
Yeah.
Until, of course, Tim Anderson got knocked out last year. So.
He ran a J-Ram, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't advise that.
That's a big man.
Look at how he's built. Yeah.
And he's better than Barry
5'10"
Bonds,
and all.
remember?
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, that's not a BBB endorsed one, is it? No. Maybe for a week he was, but oof. He's a great player. Wouldn't go that far. But yeah, Joey Bats got traded for nothing. I mean, Robinson Diaz, that was a bad
That's kind of the Pirates
Pittsburgh.
spiel.
It, like I said, that's why they are where they were.
Yeah.
Those years, they had a hot minute. They were decent. That's gone. We'll see now. They've got some young talent, but that's a miss. We'll go back to Atlanta on the side of trades they usually are. This was a winner for them.
Okay.
Okay, the 2015 offseason. Actually, they got back-to-back winners on my list. 15, they traded away Justin Upton, and Aaron Northcraft. This is when San Diego, they've got A.J. Preller, I think's his name, the GM, who likes to, just collect, like, fantasy baseball it up.
Yeah. We
You
want
know.
the guys that were good last year.
Yeah. Or we don't want guys that play defense. That's what he goes
Yeah,
for. Like, he
that's-
had Matt Kemp, Upton, a lot of these guys. It's like, these cool names don't work as a team. I don't understand.
They hit baseball's far, though.
They do. It's just a shame no one's on base when they did that.
Yeah.
It's a problem.
Yeah.
But anyway, Atlanta got for Upton services, which I believe was just a year. They got Max Fried, Jace Peterson, Dustin Peterson, Malik Smith. You can
Is
stop
Max
Fried.
Fried still? Oh yeah, he's still on that team.
Well, now he's in New York.
Yeah, well,
But
he was.
You're
Yeah,
right.
up
yeah.
until last year.
Yeah, you're right. From 15 on, I mean, you got Max Fried, like under control. It was this team for 8 years, like just slam dunk. Good call by
Yeah.
Atlanta. Good scouting. He was fairly high prospect time of the trade, but still they got a lot out of him. And that's a win.
You felt like you did well for a pitching prospects that,
Yeah.
if you're a Cardinals fan, you don't think those ever work out.
No, you don't. And not with us, they don't. But hey, just send them elsewhere. That's like, do we want to trade Tin Cans? Look what might happen.
Yeah.
He's
He's the next Tim Lincecum.
Tim the freak. I would take that. I'd take half of that. That would be great. But yeah, the next one we got, like I said, Atlanta won another one here in 16. And I remember scratching my head at the time of this trade. It was like the D-backs had just took Dansby Swanson #1 overall.
Mm-hmm.
They traded him, Ender Inciarte, who was a heck of a center fielder, I believe, for a while
Yeah.
defensively.
A lot of speed.
Yeah,
A lot of
yeah.
speed, soft bat.
I know. Yeah. And he got a bobblehead after him in Atlanta, too. So that
Yeah.
carries weight for me. There you
Okay.
go. And who's the other gentleman? Aaron Blair. Not real sure on that one.
Remember that Shelby Miller guy, though?
Yep, that's where he went from Atlanta to Arizona. And Gabe Spear didn't do much. But Shelby Miller for Swanson was the highlight of the trade. Did not pan out well in the desert.
No.
Which injuries did him in. He's actually still pitching now. Like his bullpen arm.
Yeah, and actually was a pretty good bullpen arm.
Yeah, he was solid this last year. He was. And he'd actually just got traded to Atlanta. He only spent 1 year there, I guess, because he was the Hayward trade.
Mm-hmm.
Went from us to Atlanta, had an amazing year. They cashed out. And I just remember...
Wish we were better at that.
Yeah, it'd be nice. Know when to hold them, know when to fold them. We know when they fall apart and fold. But
We miss you, Walt Jocketty.
Yeah, come back. Come out of retirement. Please. Somebody else. I don't know. Heck, let's send our resume in. But anyway, I was like, you traded the guy you took number 1, Odd, and he was a heck of a shortstop in Atlanta for, 6-7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Got paid by the Cubbies. Working out well for him, not really the Cubs. He wasn't great for that contract.
Not great.
Nope, but for this trade, I think was a big win. So, let's do one more for break, because this was a pretty big one.
Okay.
Could have been bigger, actually, at the time. We're going to go ahead, we gave the Cubs enough credit. We're going to give them a loss on this one.
Yeah.
Big loss, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I get it. Like, this was still the Epstein area. This was in...
Let's win. Let's do this now.
Yeah.
Break the curse.
Right for the trade deadline. They just won in 16. In 17, they acquired Jose Quintana for a heck of a haul. Like, you had Eloy. This is with the White Sox. They got Eloy Jimenez, Dylan Cease, Matt Rose, and Bryant Fiete, which, forget the last two. Eloy and Cease.
Eloy you thought was going to be the best of that by far.
Yes,
and
you did.
Honestly, it's just, man, can you stay on the field, dude?
Yeah. He's one, it's like, let him just DH.
Yeah.
I feel like every time he's in the field.
Well, he doesn't exactly field well anyhow.
No, he
so,
doesn't.
why are we out here anyhow?
And I remember the one he tore his labrum tackling the wall.
Yeah.
Like, just screw it. Like, don't run into the wall.
But then you have that Dylan Cease guy.
Yes.
He didn't necessarily, did he get traded to the White Sox? Did we do a inter-city trade here?
Yeah, this was inter-city. The
Okay.
Cubs got Quintana, who at the time was a solid 2 or 3. And like I said, they just won the World Series. It made sense. Pushing the chips in, they needed another, like, a number 3 for their rotation. Like, they had Arrieta. They were loaded.
Yeah.
I got it. But Cease, oh my gosh. And he was a fairly high, I think he was like 28 or 9.
Yeah.
Jimenez was top 10. He's a high-rated prospect, but the White Sox got a lot out of him, in all fairness. And this one, if the Cubs would have won back-to-back, especially given their history, their drought, they're like, okay, get it.
Now that window's slammed shut.
Oh, yeah, a lot of these guys, most are gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they didn't get it. Quintana was never as good there as he was on the other side of town. Maybe that was it. Maybe it was the side of town he was on. I don't know. He's south side. Don't know.
Maybe.
Don't know. But didn't pan out. White Sox, like I said, it was a good haul. It could have been just amazing if Jimenez would have panned out.
He's still young.
Value.
He's still young.
Yeah, I don't know where he's at now. He's went to Baltimore. I don't think he's signed yet. He might be hitting him out in Mexico off Trevor Bauer. There you go. So anyway, I'll tell you what, on that note, we're going to take a break and free Trevor Bauer. Don't forget that. But we'll be back. I had a little interesting sidebar. But as I said before, we're pro Trevor Bauer. We'd love to see him sign somewhere. You can't tell me he's not better than half the pitchers out there. So anyway.
That's our TED Talk.
That is. So, okay, back to our real-life recap here. I did miss one. 99. This trade was December 31st of 99, so it counts. Whatever.
Okay. Got it
Johan,
in before midnight, though.
Yeah, right. Dang it, just missed it. We're putting it in there. Johan Santana was traded by the Marlins to the Twins and cash for Jared Kemp. And we know Santana, the rest of the story.
Yeah.
Not Carlos, Johan.
Who's Jared Kemp?
I have no clue. Jeremy Camp? That's a singer, I think. Yeah, no, and you know what's really ironic? Do you remember with Johan, like, the key to success, the pitch it was? Change up.
Yeah.
What are the Marlins known for teaching guys now? Change up. Like, I'm just like, this is so ironic. Which this was totally different coaching staff and everything, but I'm like, wow. That unlocked his success, and he was Cy Young winner. Great.
Yeah, it'd be a shame if the Marlins maybe have taught him that.
Yeah, I know. They're like,
left.
maybe
they just taught it to him on the way out, like on the plane out.
Or maybe they're like, "Are you idiots? Look at what he learned there. Let's get people here that can teach that." I don't know, maybe. But anyway, that was like a huge one-sider that just missed. And someday we will go over trades from back then. We'll do an all-time list with Stat Guy. But anyway, this was a bad one.
Next, did the Dodgers lose a trade?
Yes, they did. Shockingly, you want to go there? Like, there was two. There was two big ones that I think were. I mean, this one was a slam dunk loss. I think we all know old Air Jordan in Houston. He wasn't an Astro to begin with. He was a Dodger.
Gosh, I'm so glad he's not a Dodger.
I'm glad Houston signed him for free agent. You know, we'll defer you a piece of Cuba. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Josh Fields was the reliever's name LA got for him, and I didn't know that guy. Like,
Nah.
And Air Jordan to Houston, like, oh, he's a force. I mean,
Big man hit the ball very far.
and he hits it fall very frequent. He's
Yeah.
one of my favorite, and I'm gonna butcher this word, but is it aesthetically pleasing?
Aesthetically?
Sure, there you go. I knew I'd butcher it.
Yep.
But just watching that swing and the big man hit the ball like 500 feet, it's fun. It is.
Yeah.
The value of the trade, you say Jordan trade, and it's a no-brainer. Like,
Yeah.
Big win.
It's like, okay, what'd they get for him? Because it probably wasn't enough.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. And sure enough, it wasn't. That one. And then another one, I totally forgot about this, but the next trade deadline, that was in 16.
Okay.
The next trade deadline, they traded O'Neal Cruz and Angel Herman, or maybe Angel, not sure, for Tony Watson, which I have heard of Watson. He was a solid reliever for them.
Mm-hmm.
But O'Neal Cruz. Ooh.
Yet to be seen. He hasn't
Right.
really fully untapped
No.
his potential
No, he
yet.
hasn't.
But he's fast. He hits the ball far, and
He has
can be a
broken
pretty good- Yes.
StatCast on
Yeah.
a few occasions. Like, he's...
Yeah, on the field and at the plate.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. You talk 5'2", you mentioned that, like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, this guy,
Only could hit for average.
that's a fair point. That is one of the tools, isn't it?
Yeah.
Get there. I mean, he hits the ball hard enough, like, got to start getting a few more singles out of that. The strikeout rate above 30 is a problem. That's a bit of a problem.
I think his might be above 35.
I'm going to tell you, he's the one I'm like, send the kid out there against lefties. I don't care if it's hand on hand. He's the one I'm like, okay, maybe not. Okay, we're like, against lefties, it's so bad. But maybe he'll get there. But, you know, tools alone, like this trade, it could end up being bonkers. So
Yeah.
almost say it's a loss just because he's fun. I mean,
Yeah, he is fun.
And they didn't get much for him.
That's
So-
the guy that you like for fantasy purposes.
I
That
love
doesn't
it.
count the average stat.
I don't even care. There's other categories I'll make up for. So it's baseball 2025. Who hits for average nowadays? I mean, come on.
I grabbed Arias to counteract him.
Yeah. There you go. It's law of averages. That's all you got to do. So it's a lot of fun. But yeah, we'll figure that out. So that one I think is a big one. And here we go. We'll jump right into another big one. You've heard of Tatis Jr. too, right?
He's
Old
decent.
Fernando, he's solid. He was the player to be named later.
Yeah.
Oh,
See,
White
that's
Sox.
always the Cinderella story
Yeah,
of players
yeah.
to be named later. Everyone's always like, well, Fernando Tatis
Yeah.
Jr. is a player to be named later.
It could be. You never know. This one was, as I remember at the time of the trade, it was Eric Johnson and player to be named later from the White Sox for James Shields. James Shields has got traded for Halls before. Like Will Myers was traded for him, Tampa Bay.
Yeah,
Day.
that's kind of James Shields' like
His
call.
MO?
That's his MO. It's like,
I get talent going the other way, guys. So
you sign me,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get you a big haul in a trade later.
Yeah, I am. And I'll tell you what, at least he did some pitching to his other teams. He got to Chicago, and it was, oh, man. He's
It-
terrible.
Looked like Lance Lynn in Chicago.
They got to move those fences in or something. That's got to be the problem here. Big fly zone. And Tatis, I mean, and my thing is, I'm like, the bloodlines. Like, I would really think twice about moving a guy. Tatis Jr. It's around the time that Vladdy Jr. was signed. I'm like, you know what? These kids, like,
Yeah, it was
Why don't
Vladdy
I trade
Jr.
him?
and then Bichette was coming around the
Bichette,
same time.
yeah, Bichette Jr.
Biggio, like all that group.
yeah, exactly. So, I don't know. This was a big loss. And, I mean, if he would have stayed off his dirt bike, maybe an even bigger loss. But
Which time?
which rack? I spent $300 million on this guy. Glad we didn't defer any of that money. So. But anyway, I mean, you look at it, the Padres got to face their franchise for better or worse, I guess, for James Shields. The end of his
Yeah.
career, too. Like, no brainer. Brain cells aside, it was a big win. So, we'll go ahead and move on from that one, try to recompose ourselves.
Yeah.
The Pirates, we keep kicking them. They actually had a good team in 18. They went all in. Chris Archer, they got him.
And he was terrible.
He was terrible. What they gave up was not either. So, I hate to rip them because it's like you want a team like that's been bad for so long to finally go after it. Like I
Ooh.
preach for Baltimore. I'm like, guys, go all in.
They
Just
gave
not
up
this
2
way.
better pitchers for him.
Yes, they did. Yeah. And stuff-wise aside, even at the time Tyler Glass, now you saw it, it's like, oh, man, there's something there. You send him to Tampa Bay. Of all the places to go to Tampa Bay. It's like, oh, crap. I'd be like, this isn't going to, like, watch us. Don't trade with him. It's a bad idea.
Yeah.
And they also got Austin Meadows, who had one amazing year and then kind of fell apart. He was great.
Been okay.
His 1 year was better than what Archer did there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then Shane Baz, who we will see. Hasn't done much yet.
Yeah.
Stuff-wise, like, if he's healthy.
I bet he ends up having a better career than Archer had in Pittsburgh.
Granted, that would not take much. But yeah, absolutely.
I think Archer was rocking about a 6 ERA.
Yeah. Oh, he was terrible. He was. And it was like, okay, the next year there, maybe he'll figure it out. And it was just like the stuff did not leave Tampa Bay.
I actually remember that as like, oh, cool. I drafted him in fantasy that year.
I drafted him on the dip after
Yeah.
his first year in Pittsburgh. It's like, okay, he's settled in. He'll be fine.
He just never got better.
Nope. He got worse. He didn't. And, for what they got, I mean, and even you look at Glass now. They traded him for Pepio, Ryan Pepio from L.A. So this trade keeps compounding itself. Like Tampa, turns out they know what they're doing. Big shock.
Yeah.
So that hurts for Pittsburgh. I'll tell you what, another down team. We'll jump back, and why don't we keep kicking Miami, too?
Well, we're good at that.
We are. These bad teams, hey, man, if you don't like it, get better. I don't know.
That's right.
So I think we're up. I've lost count. I think Fire Sale 10.0, maybe.
Somewhere in there.
This is along when the Ozuna trade they did pretty good on. But,
In hindsight.
yeah, in hindsight. They traded that offseason. Stanton, their whole outfield. Stanton, Ozuna, Yelich.
Mhm.
Oh, man. Like the Stanton one, too, it's like, they didn't get much for him, but they got money off the
Yelich
books.
was supposed to be the third
Yes,
best.
he was. Like, we literally picked Ozuna over him, which at the time I was like, okay. But, the Brewers got Christian Yelich for Luis Brinson, who was actually a highly rated prospect at the time.
Yeah.
Turns out he could not hit Major League pitching. That happens.
That does happen.
That does. Isan Diaz, Monte Harrison, Jordan Yamamoto, like basically nothing.
Yeah.
Brewers got Yelich, who, oh man. What would you say for 3-4 year period was...
I was tired of seeing him in lineups.
Yep, dang right. I mean, he killed us. Like,
Yeah.
He would even won MVP.
He did win an MVP, yes.
If it wasn't for the back, I mean, could have been more.
If it wasn't for the back, we were looking at a
Yeah.
multi-time MVP,
Honestly,
a guy
Hall
that
of Fame track.
Yeah.
Is that fair
Oh,
to
yeah.
say? Like
Yeah.
the talent played. He went to a better ballpark too, but he still, even this last year, he's fought back problems.
he was so
Still
good
solid.
last year when he was
Yeah.
healthy.
With wheels. I
Yeah.
didn't realize he had the power speed combo. He did in Miami. Like I said, he got to Milwaukee. He was a 40-30 guy, and even now he's stealing 30 bags.
Yeah.
Injured. Like,
I didn't realize that the speed was still there when he came back
Yeah.
this last time with his
Yeah.
back injury.
Oh yeah. It's amazing, and he 300-ish hitter, like slam dunk, amazing trade, amazing. So, we'll talk about another amazing one. We got 2 more. We're gonna wrap up here, and this must have had something to do with 2020 going around.
Okay.
First one we got here was Corey Kluber trade.
Okay.
The Klubot. This was the end of his dominance in Cleveland. He got and I forgot about this trade. He got traded to Texas for this guy named Emmanuel Clase.
Yeah, guy that I thought should have won the Cy Young last year.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for Skubal winning the Triple Crown, I believe.
Yeah.
Arguably a top 5 relief season of all time for Clase.
Yeah.
Amazing. Delano DeShields played a little bit for them. And what really...
Delano Shields Jr.
Junior. I'm sorry. That's right. Fair point. Got a lot of these juniors today.
Yes.
A lot. Turns out if their name's Junior, they might be good at baseball, so you might want to put them on your team.
I mean, that's something worth noting. Yeah.
Yes, it is. There you go. See, we're teaching people everything.
Yeah.
But what really hurts on this is Kluber. Guess how many innings Texas got out of Kluber? This had nothing to do with COVID either. It's injury related. Just take a
200?
guess. 1.
Oh.
They literally got 1 inning. Not quite. A little rough. 1 inning for Clase. I don't think it was a very good trade up. Like, I don't think it was an immaculate inning either. So not much value there. Yeah, that was bad, but possibly the worst one on this list. The Mookie Betts saga. I'll call it.
Ooh.
2020, guys. They traded the Red Sox. They came off the World Series in 18, which this blew my mind. That this was this close to them winning the World Series. They did a teardown. And it's Boston. You know, they usually have money. They didn't want to pay Mookie. Why? I don't know. Dodgers were like, sign me up. Sign me up.
We'll pay him. What do you want?
Well, yeah. Yeah, we don't care. Like, we'll give you part of LA. Sure, bring Mookie here. Like, you could
So do you want that money now?
Yeah. Or the Ohtani treatment in 20 years? I don't know. They had to pay Mookie now, and it was well worth it. Mookie Betts and David Price. Price, part of that was LA took on a chunk of his contract.
Yeah.
Whatever. You got Mookie. For, oh boy, Alex Verdugo, who a few solid years there, but nothing like Mookie.
Yeah.
Jeter Downs, who was a decent rated prospect. Another one that can't hit a baseball.
It's really weird. Yeah, he's not good hitting baseball.
And he even was named Jeter. So you would think. Don't know. Didn't work. I guess it wasn't the last name, so it didn't matter. And Connor Wong, who, okay, he's solid catcher, but nothing special. And like,
yeah.
For Mookie.
Catching prospects don't really ever move the needle.
No, they do not. And I mean, if you're trading Mookie Betts, I don't care about the money and all. You got to get a bit of a haul. Like, this is a future Hall of Famer, fair to say.
Well, I mean, yeah, and you got David Price. Like, he's not a slouch.
No.
That was later David Price. I get it.
But he actually pitched, I think he had a year or two. He was solid for them.
Yeah.
Like, not David Price Tampa, but he was solid. All the way around. And for an organization like Boston, who, like I said, I know they had ownership issues and the money and all, but I'm like, man, if you're going to pay somebody, pay Mookie. So, and 2 years after winning the World Series, and that was not just a World Series, like, they were a historical team. 18, the Red Sox were amazing. So, that one might be the worst one, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad. Pretty bad. So, you know, we'll someday do one of our all-time worst trades, but I think I probably missed some. Help me out if I did. I need help a lot of times. But
yeah, for more ways than one.
you know, sometimes you just can't fix stupid.
That's right. Remember that, guys. Can't fix stupid, but that's all we got this week.
But stupid can survive 32 years. There you go. So, I'll tell you what. Stay classy, Southern Illinois. Thank you, guys.
Thanks for watching.